Yeah, well, I teach. I'm a music teacher who goes from school to school, so I work with Portsmouth Music Service, but I also teach singing. Have lots of different fingers in many pies. But I think it's massively important that kids are given the opportunity, the encouragement to explore through music, because music is a transferable skill. None of this rubbish about, oh, it's an art subject or it's namby-pamby or it should be pushed to a side. It helps kids learn every other subject, and I will defy anybody to tell me it's not worth anything.
Just bringing that confidence out in them again, isn't it?
Well, I think they're reviewing that, aren't they? It's under threat, isn't it?
It was under threat. I think it's still under review. But
it'd be terrible if they took that away.
How can they do? Well, we'll see.
They can,
we'll have to campaign.
Yeah, it would be bad. I mean, I know in terms of sort of primary education, a lot of teachers are very scared to teach music because they think it's some sort of skill or it's special or anything like that, and I think, you know,
it's memory, dexterity, confidence, all those things.
But it's like demystify it. You know, anybody can teach it. If we had, and it's a very Western thing as well. If we all had more confidence in singing and performing and doing and it not mattering whether we were singing out of tune or anything like that. If that was all taken away and we just said, as a community of people, our musicianship would go up. That's what would happen.
The Portsmouth Music Service are doing a lot in Portsmouth, aren't they? They've got we've got the gospel choir going, and we've got Portsmouth Sings going.
Yeah, we've also got Starstruck. Starstruck that we run as well at Mayfield School. Starstruck, it's a glee choir essentially, so it's a show choir, dancing, acting, singing. We do that. That runs at Mayfield on a Thursday at 4:15. So.
And anybody can come along?
Yeah, well, basically we've got a juniors, so that's sort of primary school age, and then we have seniors, which is your secondary school age to probably to about 18. Yeah.
Do you find, you know, sort of, I suppose a lot of the media today, we were talking about this earlier, and the way that people are sort of judged. Do you think it puts people off of becoming a singer or becoming a musician? Or, you know, you've got all these sort of talent contests and it's all about winning, and if you don't win, you're not, you know.
There's too many contests that don't offer any reward, for definite. Lots of things where people are conned into entering something on the belief they might actually win something that's worth having, and they won't. That's not how you get into music. You get into music by working hard, practicing and slogging away at it, as everybody that's in it knows. There's no magic bullet thing, is there?
Well, it's created a two-tier system.
Yes.
You know, kids that are talented and will go, you know, for these things and will resolutely be crushed or elevated to a level where, you know, maybe they don't even deserve to be that quickly, all of that. And then you get the live scene, and you get, you know, artists that are truly good, have put in their work and their hard work and don't get, you know, that much for it.
But maybe get more satisfaction out of it at the end of the day.
Hopefully.
They're not looking for that, like you say, fast track.
Well, they've got their audience, and it might not be a stadium filling audience, but it's usually a very loyal fan base. And they'll play sort of small club venues all around the country, and they can tour regularly. It gives them enough income to still produce an album which the fans are interested in buying, and they can have another life alongside that and live a balanced existence, which is what some people want. They don't all want to be mega stars living in limousines.
I think if they put stars in people's eyes, though, don't you think?
Yeah. I think there can be a jump as well, though, from sort of the it's a difficult thing to get out of. I think we were talking earlier about doing the clubs up in Manchester, which I did to sort of make, you know, sort of ends meet, and it can be it's really
part of the journey, isn't it?
It's really difficult to get out of that. If you stay in it too long, you can be sucked into it for forever and ever.
Forever and ever. But some people like to do that, and they want to stay doing that, and they're happy doing that. But you've had a bit of a funny story about that as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, it was my second
I have
ever performance.
As somebody who interviews people, I have to ask things like, any funny stories? Well, actually,
but I think everybody who's done the clubs has probably got some sort of story. It was my second time. I'd only just sort of, you know, it's an aggressive environment. You know, you're talking about working men, essentially, and women who walk into their clubs, they want to have a drink, they want to be entertained, and if you don't entertain them, you're in deep doo-doo. So
just have your glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So I walk in, I'm a typical student. I've got my flares on, I've got my horn ring glasses, I've got my little vest top, I'm lugging in gear. And
Lugging in the gear.
Lugging in gear. Oh yeah, I still do that. And I get this rather overweight fella walks up to me. He's a concert secretary, so he's the guy who's in charge of the entertainment, and they take their job very seriously.
They do take them very seriously.
Very seriously. And he's got a bit of a comb over and some bottle glasses.
Barcode head on.
Yeah, absolutely. And he comes over to me and goes, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, you don't look familiar." And of course, I'd taken over from somebody, so all the promotional material was on
We've
somebody
all done
else.
those gigs, haven't we?
Yeah. So
Especially
like,
when you're a lot better looking than you are.
She's sick. So he's like, all right, okay. So I go backstage and I change and I take off my glasses, so I can't. This was before contact, so I could never see anything on stage. It was brilliant.
No stage fright.
Yeah.
Turn those lights up nice and bright.
They all love me.
And I was wearing me glam stuff, me sequins and me high heels. Anyway, he was watching me, and the fella I did it with, his mum was there. And this concert secretary comes over to him and says, "Oh, right, is that your daughter?" And she said, "No, that's my son." And he went, "All right." I didn't think much of her when she walked on, but when she came on from backstage, she was like, "Ugly duckling turned into a swan."
Just say it as you think.
I know, it's just like,
Nice.
nice. Yeah. That was
But it's
nice.
a compliment.
At least
compliment.
in the end, it was a compliment. Yeah,
It's
so-
a backward compliment.
Yes, exactly.
I can help you out here by turning one back on the interviewer, because I remember a night when I saw Rachel singing and somebody accused her of miming.
Yeah.
And she turned the backing track off and sang the vocal again without it to watch this guy's mouth drop open, and she went, "Okay," and then brilliant. Absolutely. Do you remember that? It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's,
That was a
I
memorable
do
one.
remember
Good for you.
that.
Yeah,
it was good.
What, I'm putting all this effort into it and you think I'm miming?
As if.
Oh dear, but I think people do, they get this idea that I think it's because there are so many gadgets and people think that they've all heard of the auto-tuner now. Everybody's heard of the auto-tuner, because I suppose because of that big hoo-ha in the paper not very long ago. Yeah. And they all think you've got a gadget that can make you sing. Well, what? Where is it? I want to get one.
Well, no, you can. It does exist.
Not
it
live,
does exist,
though. I
but
mean, when you're
not
stood
live.
there live like that.
You just can't. It's the same with my choirs and my big groups of singers. It's just like, you're not going to sound fantastic if you don't put any effort into it. You're not going to automatically, a band is not going to appear like Glee and make this phenomenal recorded sound. I'm sorry, I'm a Glee, I can't help it.
I like the music bit, it's the awful sentimentality stories.
You know what it is for me? It's just coming back to what we just said, it's the tuning, it's all the production side of it, and those guys that no doubt have got talent, they can sing, of course, but I'd love to just hear them doing it, you know. So
it is phenomenal. Rachel, weirdly, is one of the main characters. She was in Spring Awakening. That's which is a very famous musical, and I think Lauren, I can't think of her surname all of a sudden, but has played down at the Cellars as well.
Pritchard.
That's it, Lauren Pritchard. She was also in. She was also in.
And there could
Spring
be some
Awakening.
gigs up for you guys as well down at the Cellars coming up, Steve. Is that right?
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff going on. Some plays at the end of the month. Plays next week. Comedy double for spring, which is I quite like. Theatre in the Cellars, it breaks things up a bit.
And when's that, sorry? What
That's
date?
next Wednesday and Thursday.
Right, okay.
And it's very civilised. It's a £10 ticket, and then after the plays you also get something to eat. So you can stand around, have a glass of appetising dry white wine and some sandwiches. And a couple of things we just booked that aren't even on the website yet, so sort of hot news. Mungo Jerry in July, singing in the summertime, which would be quite cool. Big sing-along night.
Yeah.
And for punk fans, John Cooper Clarke, who's got quite a big following.
Okay.
And some good jazz stuff actually. Got John Cleary coming back in with his soul funk thing going on. It's very, very good. And possibly Muddy Waters' son back again later in the year. So all sorts happening.
Lots of stuff
have a
to
look at our
out for.
website.
Yeah, definitely. And Steve, last time we were chatting a couple of months ago, we were talking about some other things that you'd been involved with and that you were sort of, very passionate about. And one of them was the Oscars.
The student Oscars,
the
yes.
Student Oscars.